I've been getting assertive as fuck. I feel like my T levels are just going through the fucking roof, bro. Over the last week, I've been eating a lot of raw meat, raw beef. And you got to be careful with that stuff, man, because I swear it's God's food. Raw beef. Like what I've been feeling just from eating raw beef and a couple of other things that I'll mention. But I feel like I honestly feel like I'm microdosing on, it's like I'm microdosing on a psychedelic, but not in a sense of like tripping and hallucination and that kind of stuff, but in the sense of my brain is just at a whole new level. It's at a whole new level of clarity. Like, I don't know if you've experienced this when you had, let's say, some shrooms, some psilocybin, or some LSD, and your brain, it's like it jumps up to a higher level of functioning. That's what I've been feeling in this last week or so. To the point where you've probably seen that movie Limitless, right? The point where you're not even consciously thinking, you're not even cognizing, you're stepping into a level of just pure knowing. That's what I'm talking about. Super weird, man, because I have always wanted this. I suffered through years of hazy, foggy thinking in depression and in anxiety, constant anxiety. But in this last little period, like I'm on somewhere around 180 days now, probably getting closer to 200 days on SR, right? I've had wet dreams, I've had night releases, but no conscious releases, okay, in almost 200 days. Now bring in red meat, bring in daily meditation, bring in breath work, daily breath work, bring in a rigorous, robust, I'm talking like full throttle letting go practice. That's for another video, like what is letting go, but basically letting go is confronting your fears, confronting your feelings, getting out of here and back into here, into your body, and feeling everything, right? Having a robust letting go practice where you actually face stuff every single day. It's all culminating, bro. It's all culminating to this point now where I feel like my brain is just evolving into a higher plane of reality. Like my cognition is just, it's just stepped up to a higher level. That's the only way I can explain it right now. Let me give you an example, right? So I do carpentry, I do building work. And over the past few years, I've done a lot of different jobs, had a lot of different clients. But since really stepping into God mode these last few months, I've become very selective about how I offer my services, how I charge myself out, how I get paid for what I do, right? And it's gotten to the point now where I have just set myself out at a day rate. So a lot of guys in this industry, they'll charge themselves out at an hourly rate, or they'll just quote on a whole job. Like let's say, for example, you want to get a deck built. A lot of guys will just quote a lump sum for that whole job, right? Now, the problem with that, offering yourself at an hourly rate or quoting on a whole job, is that you can get screwed over. You can get screwed over by shitty weather. starting a job, only working 2 hours because the weather turns. You can get screwed over by clients not showing up at the job, by clients not having all of the materials prepared for you like you've agreed to have with them. You can get screwed up. Like, there's a whole lot of things that can go wrong, and a lot of it involves the client. Okay. So instead of going around like chasing every job that's available, like chasing desperately, like putting out that needy energy, like I need whatever work I can get, my whole energy has shifted now to a point where I'm not chasing work, right? Because I actually accept now that I'm valuable. I actually feel that I'm valuable. And that's all changed through SR and a bunch of different things I've been doing recently. But SR, particularly God mode, has been the foundation of that, of shifting my perception of myself from being like scum, from being just this sex-addicted scum with no self-worth, to a man of value. I see myself and I feel myself to be a man of high value. And that just happens on this journey. So I'm no longer seeking work. I'm allowing people to come to me. I'm allowing them to sell themselves to me, sell their job to me, like telling me why I should do their job for them, why they want to hire me, right? I'm allowing that to happen now. And so I've set this day rate, and the funny thing is you get tested every time you step up a level of self-worth, of self-image, of self-value, of self-respect, of self-love. That's what it is fundamentally. It's self-love. Every time you step up to a higher level of that, you will be tested. You will be tested by the old version of you, which is your ego, because the ego wants to stay the same. It wants to keep everything the same. Even if you've had low self-worth, low self-confidence, even if you've been earning shit money, getting disrespected by everyone, the ego would rather that you stay the same and continue being treated like that, because that's what it's familiar with. That's how it's learned to survive. It would rather you live in that cesspool than you rise to a higher level. So this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. Self-sabotage comes from the ego, comes from the survival instinct to stay the same. And so the way I got tested recently was a client who I had given my day rate to, $500 per day. I'd given that to this client and she agreed to it. Okay, I'll pay you $500 per day. She started trying to tell me that because on this particular day we had started a bit late, because she actually started late. She needed to show me the job and what needed to be done, but she showed up late, right? So it was on her. She was disorganized. And so we ended up starting this job like over an hour late. And she tried to pull this on me, and she tried to say, okay, so, well, because we started late, because we're finishing a bit early, you can just give that to me as a credit tomorrow. Like, you can just stay back and do that extra time tomorrow. And immediately I pulled her up. Unemotional, level-headed, and I just said, no, I won't be doing that. She was shocked. Oh, what do you mean? I said, I won't be doing that because I work a day rate. There's no rollover. It's not like unused credit rolls over into your next month's phone usage. I work a day rate, so I get paid the same each day, working between the hours of 8 and 4. And if for any reason, you're not there on time, you don't show me the job, if for any reason you fall short on our agreement, I still get paid the day rate. It's a day rate. Like if you were to go to a tool hire shop and hire an excavator for a day. Even if you only use the excavator for 2 hours that day, you still pay for the full day of usage. And that's what I spelled out to her really clearly. Now, she started to get emotional, and she started to accuse me of being tight, like being stingy, right? And she started saying things like, oh, this is all give and take. It's all give and take. Like, I give you, you give to me. That's how it works. You got to be flexible, right? Using these very sort of rational. It makes sense, if you're an empathic, weak person, you're going to go for that. And she was hoping that I would buy into that paradigm, into her lower frame, and drag me back down into lower value. But I just maintained my boundaries because I'm not living down there anymore. I'm living up here. And I said, no, I hire myself out at a day rate. That's what we agreed to, and that's what we're doing. And so she got a little bit more emotional, a bit more annoyed, and I just kept it really rational and really, really low key. And I just told her that's how it is. And in the end, she just agreed. She just agreed and she said thank you. And that was that. So, and then the same thing happened again. Same client, same thing happened today at the same job. And she tested me again. She tested me for those weak spots. And I just said, no, I'm here on a day rate. Even though we started late today again, we're finishing at the same time, 4 p.m. as agreed. That's my boundary. That's how I work. And that's that. And I get paid $500. And she just said, okay. And in the end, she paid me the cash and she said, thank you. And that was that. So you see, you are going to be tested. You're not just going to, you don't just get to graduate to higher value, to higher frequency, higher vibration, higher attraction for free. You will be tested by your own ego and by your own projections in the external world. They will test you. Are you really the Son of God? Said Satan to Christ. If you're really the Son of God, then turn these stones into bread. And what did Christ say? It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. And he tried him again. If you're really the Son of God, throw yourself off this cliff and God's angels will catch you. For it is written, they will not let you fall lest you dash your foot against a stone. And Christ said, it's also written, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. Right? And then the third time he tests him and he takes him up on a mountain and he shows him all the glory of the world, all the kingdoms of the world. I've told this story before, but it's a banger. And he says, all of this glory, all of these kingdoms and everything within them, all of the power I will give to you if you will only bow down and worship me. But what does Christ say? It is written, thou shalt love the Lord thy God, and besides him thou shalt have no other gods. And that was that. So you are going to be tested, and your battle is not in actually fighting. You don't actually need to fight or defend yourself. All you need to do is stand on the truth. And that is quickly going to reveal if the truth is within you or not. Because if the truth isn't within you, if you haven't actually retained your seed, if you haven't actually purified your mind, you're going to crumble under these tests. People are going to poke your weak spots and there's going to be no integrity there and you're going to crumble. You're going to fall apart like a house of cards because there's no strength there. There's no real strength developed. But for me, the point I'm at now, I'm finding that people are testing me and I just don't flinch. It's like, yeah, what? What do you want? There's no emotional reaction. This is what I'm talking about. This is the power that you're beginning to step into if you've actually been walking this path. This cannot be faked. This cannot be faked. And another guy talking to today who I've booked in to do a job with him tomorrow, he calls me up this morning and he's saying that, oh, well, the plumber hasn't come and this and that hasn't happened. So I was thinking, maybe you could keep doing the job you're doing at the moment and we could move it to next week. And this actually surprised me. Like, this just came out automatically. This is what I'm talking about when the Spirit starts to take over you. You're not thinking or strategizing anymore. You're just standing in who you are. This came out of me so automatically, I was actually shocked. I had to check myself. I was like, did I really just say that? But I said to this guy, just so cool, calm, collected, I just said, I've booked you in for tomorrow, Dennis. I've booked you in for tomorrow. And the tone of voice was very commanding, but it wasn't aggressive and it wasn't angry or emotional. It was just commanding. And immediately when I said that, he just agreed. He said, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. So you begin to access authority. This is what I'm saying. You begin to access true spiritual authority that people can't fuck you around anymore because you're standing on truth. People can't pull the wool over your eyes anymore because you are the wolf in sheep's clothing. You are the gentle wolf, except when you need to exercise that power, you will bring your teeth out. But you are the shepherd. You are the one with the authority. You are the one holding the cards. You are the one with the power. And you're beginning to exude this around you everywhere you go. And people are curious and they're testing you because they want to see if this power is real. And if it's fake, then they'll trigger you. They'll throw you off balance. But if you have been doing the work, they won't be able to throw you off balance. That's what I'm finding more and more. I'm just getting more and more anchored. I'm feeling this anchor just dropping deeper and deeper down. It feels like my house is built on a rock. The wind comes, the waves come, the storm crashes all around, but that house will not move because it's built on the rock. So if you want to be a part of more of this energy, if you want to tap into this even more, you can be doing your own practice, doing God mode, cleaning up your diet, hitting the gym. You can be doing all of that stuff right. But if you don't have a spiritual brotherhood, if you don't have brothers on your frequency who can hold you to this higher standard, who can call you out when you're simping on yourself, when you're playing small, when you're letting your ego control your state instead of coming from your highest version. If you want a group of brothers to hold you to that standard, to see you, join the Sons of God. We've got 178 dudes in there. The group is consolidating. We've cut a little bit of dead weight, if you know what I mean. We haven't been growing in the last couple of weeks because we've been growing deeper. The roots have been going deeper. Our member count hasn't risen, but we've been consolidating. The power levels in the group are rising. I can feel it. Some of the leaders rising up in that group right now are actually astounding me. Some of the things that are coming through in the spirit, some of the things that these brothers are saying, the experiences they're sharing are absolutely mind-blowing. So I can feel this spiritual current starting to take over. It's been like that from the beginning, but things are intensifying. So we're calling on any brothers out there who want to be a part of this, to join in and rise with us. Because every single member, every single brother that joins brings a new energy frequency, brings a new energy signature, a new puzzle piece, a new part of the blueprint. And together we're just weaving this energy vortex that we can collectively draw on when we get weak, when we get challenged. We can draw on this power. It's like this shared power field. So if you want to be a part of that, the link is below. I'll see you in there.